Hello and welcome to Experience Realty. My name is Tarun. Now, you'll all be startled. Every time I do a viewing with my clients for townhouses, most of them are underwhelmed by the sizes that are on offer. Yet, they have to contend with what is available. And the simple reason why they have to do it is the stretch from a townhouse to a villa, which starts at around 8 to 10 million dirhams in Dubai, puts most of them out of contention for these properties. Now, I'm going to let you in on a prospect, and you can thank me later for it. This prospect happens to be the culmination of the aspirations of all prospective homeowners as well as investors. Now, think about it. With the population demographic of Dubai changing, where families that are migrating to Dubai have an average family size of around 5.3, they will love to have a go at this opportunity. Also, we cannot discount the 6,400 millionaires who plan to move to Dubai in 2024. These guys will go hammer and tongs for a prospect like this. Probably give an arm and leg to get an investment opportunity like this. Okay, I can continue to wax lyrical about this prospect, but time is of the essence. The clock is ticking and this launch is upon us. And I want all of you to grab this opportunity from the scruff of the neck. So, in lieu of the time, let me take you on a voyage through sloping mountains, lush meadows, an enchanting forest, and a shallow river to the magnificent Phase 2 of the Valley by Emaar, where a new cluster of villas by the name of Avena is launching. Now, why is Avena such a hot prospect? The simple reason is there is only 330 villas launching in this phase, and the price point happens to be only 1180 dirhams per square foot. Can you name me one villa community, and that too a villa community from a developer of the pedigree of Emaar starting at 1180 dirhams per square foot? This is unheard of and it defies all my real estate logic. I want you all to understand and have a look at this prospect with the intent of making sure that you will get this. Why? Because opportunities like this do not knock at your door a second time. So grab it while it lasts. And in lieu of that, let's just go and explore this opportunity and see why is it that I am so certain and so bullish about this opportunity. So allow me to engage you and explain this to you over the master plan and the layouts of the new prospect Avena that is launching in the Valley by Emaar. Early on in my career, when I was cutting my teeth in real estate, my boss always used to delve on this point. He would literally tell us every day, and it still resonates with me and I think it's very relevant. He always used to say, whenever a prospective homeowner or an investor is looking at buying or investing in real estate, there are three criteria which are the cornerstone on which they base their decision of to buy or not to buy. And these three criteria are: number one, end use experience. If I cannot aspire to live in, or if I do not want to live in a property, no one else would. So end use is an important aspect. The second aspect is capital appreciation. What is it that I will gain from investing in this property? And the third aspect, which is also very critical, is the returns, the rental returns that this property or this project would yield for me. So this is literally the cornerstone of influencing everyone's decision whether to buy or not to buy. Now, since the boss is always right, we are going to assess this opportunity in Avena vis-a-vis these three criteria, that is end use, capital appreciation and rental returns. So without much ado, let's look at what is the end use or what kind of a lifestyle would this community or this project Avena by Emaar guarantee or warrant for the families or investors who are investing here. Now, one look at this resplendent model of the phase 2 of Valley by Emaar. The first and the most stark thing that you will notice is this splendid green zone or the park. Now, this is not an ordinary park, The size of this park is an astounding 250,000 square meters. It's huge. This is almost the size of 35 football fields. And this is by no means an ordinary park, because in this park, a new adventure awaits you at every corner. It is laden with amenities. Now, for families and residents or end users to have a seamless end-use experience, to thrive, to forge bonds with other families, what is the most important thing? It is open spaces, parks, recreational areas, and amenities. And this is where this project, Avena and the Valley Phase 2, hit the ball out of the park. In my experience and with my career in real estate, I have not seen a community offering what the Valley as the whole and the Phase 2 has to offer to end users as well as prospective investors who are looking to invest here. 33 amenities in this park. You can very, very well imagine, if I was talking to you earlier, let me take you on a voyage, through an enchanting forest. This is the part where the forest is. Then if you come here, this is the part where you have the hills. Here you have a lush meadow. Here you have the valley. And this is the shallow river. Now, each of these, these quarters or these parts of the valley, they have different themes running through it. So, you have amenities like flower farms, like orchard groves, skate parks, nature and sensory play area for your children, forest walks, dunescapes, you name it. And it is there in the valley for you and your family. So imagine the kind of lifestyle that you will have here. Now, Avena, which is the new cluster that has been launched in the Valley by Emaar, if you look at this cluster, I can, without, focusing too much, I can literally count 6 pocket parks within the cluster. So imagine the kind of lifestyle that you will have here. Land is very limited, and I always say this, and it is highly sought after. And here you have a developer who's dedicating a phenomenal part of that land to give you and your family that end-use experience. Where in Dubai would you find a community boasting all of this? I don't think so. There is any community that can give you a lifestyle like this. Now, if you look at Avena on the whole, there is only 330 units, The built-up area is amazing. It's around 3,700 square foot. Lot sizes, they start at, 3,100, can go up to 4,800 square foot. That is expansive for a villa of this price point. And if you look at Avena cluster, you will see that the Sikka size here is huge. It is anywhere between 2 to 4 meters. So there is no back-to-back. You have your privacy. Your neighbors have their privacy. You have no eyes prying on you because you are substantially away from anyone. And check out what Emaar has done. In these villas, you will see that the kind of vibe that this community has, it's not a very dense cluster. And the open spaces, the parks, and this huge belt of the central park, which Avena is right at, it gives you everything that you would want. Yeah. So now, another important aspect what we need to look at is that Avena, yes, the phase 2, yes, has a lot of amenities, but we cannot ignore the other part, that is phase 1 of the valley, which was again one of the most family-centric communities Emaar ever did. Now, if you are a resident of phase 2, you have complete access to all the amenities that exist in phase 1 also. And this phase 1 never goes out of my memory because I have not seen any amenities in any community like the phase 1 as well. If this has 250,000 square meters of park and amenities, this had 150,000 square meters of amenities. So, you're talking about features like the pavilion, Then you had that 40,000 square meter Golden Beach. You had a 25,000 square meter sports village. You had a 13,000 square meter Kidsdale for the children of your family. And then you had that ginormous town center, which was a whopping 32,000 square meters. None or no other Emaar community has a town center of this size. So imagine if you couple them together, you have an astounding 400,000 square meters of open space, parks, amenities at your beck and call. Now, think about it. And I understand that you cannot live in open spaces and parks. Layouts are very important. Now, Emaar, with their legacy, with their wealth of experience, they have literally been a sponge and soaked all the feedback that we all had for them. Like everyone always used to say in townhouses, the living room is very small. We need a closed kitchen. We need all the beds to be ensuite. Emaar has worked on all of that. And the kind of layout they have come up with for Avena, it is splendid. These layouts, they personify luxury. They are the embodiment of luxury and expansiveness. All your feedback, all the things that Emaar has learned over their 30 or 3 decades of existence have been put to use in this new launch in Avena, making this layout class leading. I am yet to see something which is so flawless. And with that in mind, let's go and explore the layout of Avena and why is it that this layout is the most unique and will be highly sought after. Look at this charming, elegant and modern facade or a dollhouse which represents Avena, which literally comes in not 1, 2, but 3 facade styles which are distinct. That is gardenia, lotus and lily. Again, Emaar giving you options to choose from, making sure that, the villas in the community look distinct. They do not look factory made. They all will look different. So there are 3 facade styles to choose from. Now, if you look at this dollhouse, the first thing that you will notice is that the developer has moved the villa to one side, thereby creating a setback of around 5.5 meters on this side, which can go up to 8 meters depending on the plot size. If it's a bigger plot, then it can go up to 8 meters. Now, what this shift to the side, to one side does is, it creates usable space on one side. Imagine if this villa were to be in the center, you would have a setback of around 2 meters here, around 2 meters on this side, making these spaces almost practically not usable. You would use them for storing. They will not be of actual use. Here, you can actually have a pool on this side and you have a splendid garden or a lawn on this side where in the mornings on this terrace, you can sit with your family, enjoy a cup of steaming coffee while your kids frolic and play in this garden. Now, things take a turn for the best. As I was telling you earlier, the tipping point in deciding to buy a villa is the layouts. If I don't fancy the layout, I do not think that end users or someone who's going to rent that villa out from me will also fancy it. Now here, Emaar has turned the game on its head. If you look at this dollhouse, the first and foremost thing that you will notice when you enter these villas is the astounding sense of space. When you enter through this door, you have a foyer which is double-heighted. You can imagine the grandeur, the luxury, the opulence, the amount of natural light that will come into this foyer, creating immense sense of space where you will feel as if you are entering into a palace and not just a villa. Then move on further and you are greeted with this majestic, expansive living and dining room, which is 550 square feet. This is astounding space for you and your family to be living in. And another important aspect that you need to notice is these floor-to-ceiling windows or doors, which again increase the sense of space and actually welcome the outdoors into your indoors. So you can imagine if you look out of this space, if you have glasses, it increases the sense of space as opposed to having walls. So the developer again has been very, very strategic. So okay, very expansive, majestic living room. Then another important thing which we always had been asking for, and the developer has been very, very strategic by giving you this kitchen which is semi-closed, whereby you can just put a door and actually close this kitchen. Now, it does not end here. So another important aspect, if you have a closed kitchen, you will notice that it gets kind of dark. There is no natural light coming in. And yes, there are exhausts provided in the kitchen, but more often than not, they do not do the trick. So here, the developer again has given you a kitchen which has access to outdoors through this door, and with this ceiling, floor to ceiling door, which is a window actually, you have natural light coming into the kitchen. You can actually open the door to vent the kitchen. Let's say if you're cooking something which is very aromatic, it really helps. Besides that, to make this deal sweeter, these kitchens, they come fully fitted, and the best for last, if you look and pay close attention to these countertops, this time around, they are stone clad. That is actual personification of luxury. Emaar has never done this before. Then, if we move out of the kitchen, we zone out, another one-off. There is a lot of one-offs in this particular cluster, Avena. So you have a separate storage space and a separate laundry. Imagine the kind of lifestyle it will warrant you, where you have space to store your things and they will not be lying in your garden, or you will not be hiding them under your bed, or actually literally thinking of a place to store things. So there is dedicated separate storage space and a laundry. Then you have a guest bed on the ground floor, which is en suite. So imagine your guests have their privacy. They do not have to get out of their room to use the washroom, and there happens to be a separate powder room as well on the ground floor. Now, if we take these stairs and we go to the first floor, the first and the most important thing that every villa owner wants to look at is the master bedroom. Now here you have a lavish 4.3 meter by 3.2 meter suite, which is your master bedroom, which again comes with a walk-in wardrobe and an ensuite bath, which for the first time again has an ornate or ornamental tub along with a shower and a double vanity. So luxury personified again. Then you have the other two bedrooms on the first floor, which again happen to be ensuite as you wanted them. Just think about the convenience, the practicality, and it is what everyone wants, Now, going up to the roof is actually the game changer, where you have this flexi room, which is ensuite again. If you fancy, you can use it as a fifth bedroom, or you can convert it into an office or a game room. As I was telling you, the game changer is the rooftop as well. If you pay close attention, you have a terrace which is 800 square foot, where you can actually have a rooftop garden. Now this 800 square foot actually adds on to your plot size as well. So imagine, technically, if I'm getting a plot size of 3100, I have this 800 square foot terrace which adds on to it. Yeah. And here you have one garden. You can actually have a rooftop garden as well. Now, this room is actually my favorite element or component of this entire villa. Why? Imagine the kind of panoramic views of this community that you will have when you are at this height, okay? And you have that verdant, expansive 250,000 square meters park, which is laden by, amenities, and which is laden by beautiful scenic views, like that shallow river which happens to be right in front of Avena. Imagine that breathtaking view. Waking up to that view in the morning would set you up and charge you for the entire day. My humble opinion, I am yet to come across a layout so well thought after by any developer, and Emaar again has outdone themselves by giving you this layout, which I do not think has any parallels in Dubai real estate today. Well, I'm back in my home, away from my home. That is my office, which is where I spend a formidable amount of my time, And this place is like home to me. So we all understand that the layout of Avena is special. I mean, we've gone and explored each and every aspect of this layout. We explored the end use aspect of, the phase 2 of Valley. And I'm sure by now you all are in consensus with me that yes, this is a special master plan and Avena happens to be a very, very carefully thought after floor plan. Now, I'm sure you all want to understand as investors and even as prospective homeowners that how is it that this property, where do we see it in the next 4 years? Where do we see it in the next 5 years? The appreciation, which is another important criteria which we decided that we will be assessing Avena on. Yeah. Now, with Dubai real estate breaking all the records, year on year, staggering growth, it is safe to assume that everything will grow, everything will appreciate. And to some extent, yes. But if you have been watching my videos, if you have been watching videos from my colleagues, we all have been delving on one fact, with a lot of emphasis on it. And that is investing in villas and townhouses, which happens to be a very, very unique opportunity in Dubai real estate market today. Now, with the 109 billion dirhams worth of transactions, this year in the first half, H1, which is 41% above the last year, it is safe to assume that everything will grow. Yeah, I am with you on the same page. But if you look at the segment that we have been, really emphasizing on villas and townhouses, the growth in this segment is astounding. Imagine from 11.4% in the H1 of last year, 2023, to be going up to 27.4% in the H1 of 2024. That represents a growth of 134%. This segment has literally doubled. So you can very well understand that this market segment, in lieu of the skewed demand-supply situation of townhouses and villas, in lieu of, the changing population demographic, this segment will continue to flourish. So if you invest in a villa or a townhouse today, definitely you will make a killing out of it. Yeah. And if we come to Avena, besides the appreciation, the end use aspect of it is a big yes. Yeah. Because we've explored it together. I'm sure by now you will resonate with it as well. Now, if we are to assess Avena in terms of appreciation, I mean, honestly, it is staggering what this property can yield for you. I mean, if you just, on the very superficial level, if we look at the price points of other communities which have launched in the same area or around the Valley by Emaar, you are looking at a price point of 22,000 to 2,100 dirhams per square foot for Meydan, 15 to 1,600 dirhams per square foot for District 11, 14 to 1,500 dirhams per square foot for E311 or Mohammed bin Zayed, and 15 to 1,600 dirhams per square foot for Emirates Road. This in itself speaks leaps and bounds about Avena and the prospect, which is at 1,175 dirhams per square foot with a built up of 3,700 and with the plot size starting at 3,100 going up to 4,800. This already is 25% lower compared to all the contemporary competition in close proximity to this community. So you can very well understand that if you're buying this, you're automatically adding 25% to whatever it is that you will have as an appreciation. So for example, let's say if I buy a 4.37 million, this sheet in the background will actually give you a very good perspective, and I can share it with you at a later stage. If you look at it, 4.37 for a 3,700 dirham at 3,700 square foot built up. Then you have the DLD, which is around 174,800. and the total landed cost of the property will be around 4,544,800. So 4,544,800 dirhams only, which is a splendid opportunity. Now, factor in a 15% appreciation year on year, you will see that you're buying a property which is off plan, where the payment plan happens to be a peach of a payment plan, 80-20, where you pay only 20% every year for the next 4 years, thereby not compromising your cash flows, because you're only paying 20%. Whatever money you have left over, or whatever money that you have as a reserve for this property, can be invested elsewhere, thereby generating another income for you. I mean, even if I leave it in a bank, I would easily get around 5% from there. So, that is what also I have factored in, and I'm happy to share this sheet with you. And in my humble opinion, and with my approximation, a year-on-year 15% appreciation would eventually take this property to 9.5 or 9 million dirhams. Now, I know many of you will think that how is this possible? Well, I have references and cases in point which I will show you and which will impress upon you that yes, these numbers are attainable. So imagine if you pay 20% in this property with a 15% appreciation, you will be sitting on 55%. Next year, you pay 20% again, so you complete a 40%. Your appreciation figures go up to 71%. Then following year, after paying 20% again, you go up to 80%. Then the year after paying 80%, you're approximately on 89% appreciation. And then when you pay your final payment with your investment complete at 4.37, you will be sitting on a whopping 115% appreciation, which also includes the 20% which we have, it also includes the 20% or 25%, which is what this property is cheaper compared to the other options that are available in the area. So I think from my side, this is a big yes. Now, as I was telling you, the reference points that why do I think that this property will have the same level of appreciation. Now, since I'm talking about an Emaar community, I will compare it to another Emaar community, an apple to an apple. So you will be surprised that within Emaar communities, properties or villas in this price point are number one, the most difficult to come by. 4 to 5 million, the sweet spot that we're talking about, has the most limited availability in Emaar communities. Now, case in point, as I was telling you earlier, if I go back in time and I see the launches in Dubai Hills Estate and in Arabian Ranches, so for example, Club Villas, which is a very similar product, okay, launched at 4.5 million dirhams for a 4-bed, okay. Today, it is transacting at 11 to 12 million dirhams, which is a staggering 300% appreciation. Within the same community, you have another cluster of villas, again, golf place terraces, launched at 7 million. Technically, if we look at Club Villas, then golf place should also be selling at 21 million dirhams, which is 300% appreciation. But the reality is that golf place today is easily purchasable by spending only 14 to 15 million dirhams, which is around 100% appreciation. I can go on and talk to you about Arabian Ranches also, but in my humble opinion, with the skewed demand supply situation, with the very limited availability of this price point, this particular project, I can assure you, you can expect these kind of returns or appreciation from Avena in the Valley by Emaar, because simply put, this price point is the most underserved segment within the villa category as well. The 3 criteria that we were assessing Avena on, we are on the last one, which is the kind of rental returns or the rental yield that Avena can yield for you. As an investor, I would say that the current rate for long-term lets in Dubai is around 6.97%. Now, it is safe to assume with the skewed demand supply situation, with the changing population demographic, with families moving in and Dubai becoming the melting pot and a global magnet which is attracting the wealthy from around the world to come and live the Dubai dream, it is safe to assume that in the next 4 years, by the time Avena is handed over, you can target a rental return of 8%. Now, with a rental return of 8%, you are looking at generating a rental income of around 347,600 dirhams from this property. Yeah, which is great, which is around what you will receive if you buy an off-plan today, because off-plans, your returns are not diluted since you're not paying a premium to acquire the property. You're buying something which is 25 to 30% lower than existing market price, which I showed you earlier in the slide. Now, you can very well imagine that your returns will have you sacrifice very little if you're buying a villa or townhouse. Why? Because the service charges for townhouses and villas are minimum, bare minimum, compared to apartments where you can go up to 50 to 55 dirhams if you have a service branded residence. Here, the service charges are only between 3 to 5 dirhams. Yeah. So let's assume that your service charge for Avena is 4 dirhams per square foot. Yeah. So your service charge will be somewhere around 14,600 dirhams, and your net returns from Avena will easily be around 7.16%, which is great considering that you have acquired this property by paying only 20% over 4 years and 20% on completion. These kind of rental returns are phenomenal. So I would say that if we look at all the three aspects of this property, that is end use, it is splendid. Appreciation, you cannot expect appreciation like this from too many projects, and this is backed by logic. It is not me speaking. I've shown you numbers, I have spoken relevant facts and figures with you, and then the rental returns, which again are based on the standard rental yield for properties of the same type in Dubai today. Now, this brings me to the end of our video for the Valley and specifically for Avena. Now, what is it that you gain or take away from this video? Now, very, very, very basic understanding that I think we all have, garnered or gained from this is that at 1180 dirhams per square foot for a young master plan in an upcoming location where the government is taking a lot of initiative to develop this location, which also happens to be an economic zone, which you all very well know from my previous videos. I've been talking about Silicon Oasis as the future hub for knowledge, academics, innovation and education in Dubai. The Valley is only 5 minutes away from this location. And you'll be surprised, just a few weeks ago, Sheikh Mohammed actually came up with another announcement where this entire area where the Valley is situated, it's called Madinat al-Hind. It has been renamed to Hind City, which will be split into, which will consist of 4 provinces. And another significant learning which I take from this is, there was a time when, no one believed in the location of Nadal Sheba. People were like, who will go and live here? But once the government started allocating plots or started giving Emiratis the permission to build their homes there, this area flourished, and it actually set the whole of this belt which I'm pointing at right now. It started the upward trajectory of growth for this entire area. So Nadal Sheba had that kind of an impact on that area in Emirates City. So you can very well imagine that this similar kind of announcement has been already made by His Highness, where Hind City will be, where plots will be allocated for Emiratis to develop their homes. The government has already made its intent very clear by giving you the kind of infrastructure in this area where the metro is coming in Silicon Oasis, Dubailand Road, which has had a makeover, then the strategic Labab Road, which is at an intersection of Alain Road. All of these are indicators for solid growth trajectory for this young master plan, which is family-centric, boasting amenities like none of the other Emaar communities. And I think it is fairly simple for me to say that this is another feather in Emaar's cap And this developer has been giving Dubai for the best of the last 3 decades icons that people in the world would resonate with. End users, I don't think so they find a better community to be living in than an Emaar project. So I feel that Avena is a project or is a launch that you should definitely, if you're looking for a home, please make sure that you explore Avena with the full intent of actually investing here or buying here. It can be your home for a long time to come. At the same time, it will be an investment which will yield you exponential returns. This is Tarun saying sayonara for now. If you have any queries or any questions about Avena, please feel free to reach out to me. Until then, sayonara.